Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna talk about and continue on with the linear function. This one here, when we look at this, it's called the application. Application. It means how is this seen in real life situation, and they're saying, okay, where do we apply this? Just by looking at this, this should tell us this is a linear function, right? Because a linear function has the form y equals to mx plus b, right? And it's been quite a while since we talked about this, so let's just take a look, take our time. What does the m stands for? What does it represent? Slope. Who said that? Yeah, that's right, slope. It tells us the slope. And what happens is the slope tells us if the line is going down, if it's decreasing, or if it's increasing, right? That's the main purpose of the slope. Is it going down like this, or is it going up? Okay. Anybody remember how you would know if the slope is gonna increase to the right or gonna fall down? If the coefficient is positive, it means that the line is going up. So this is a positive slope, positive leading coefficient. Very good, very good. And then going down, that means a negative slope or negative leading coefficient. Good, you've been studying. The 2 weeks you're off.
It's the same thing, going down and going from left to right.
Yeah, it's always from left to right. So it's from left to right. So this is decreasing down. And then this is increasing up. From left going to the right. Okay? So now looking at this one in here, what's going to happen? What do you expect? It's going to decrease, it's going to go down, right? It's going to slope down. Good. What does the B represent? That tells us the y-intercept. It means that where the graph or line will cross or intersect the y-axis. That's a y-intercept. So when you look at this one here, our y-intercept is at 560,000. Okay, 500. Try to fit that on our graphing calculator. It's not going to fit because remember, our graphing calculator only goes from -10 to +10, -10 to +10. So how do we fit this onto our screen? We have a major window change, right? Change a window. So let's do that. Let's reset our calculator first because we have so much stuff on this. Let's do that. Do you remember how to reset? Second plus 7, 1, and then 2. Yeah. So everything is cleared. Everything is resetted back to normal. So let's type in our equation. Negative 10,000 plus 560,000. Oh yes, thank you. Nope. Now, if I press graph, and when you press graph, we know that it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit. It's just way, way, way too small. So we already know that the y-intercept this is what's gonna happen, okay? Just to kind of sketch it in our brain, in our minds, this is what's gonna happen. Y-intercept is 560,000, so this is the y-intercept, and we know that it's gonna go down, right? Okay, so we know that this is 560,000, and we know that it's gonna go down. That's our graph. So sketch the graph of this situation. See if we can figure that out. We need to go up here, our Y maximum to be 560,000. So window, our Y max, we should be able to see 560,000. What we can do is we can go 570,000. So there's a little bit of room above. So far, so good. Now let's press graph. That's the only thing that, if you press graph, you see that piece. Okay, what else do we need to change so we can see the entire graph? X max, right? Because it's eventually going to go down. Okay, so we're going to go to window. What do you think we should go? Right now it's 10. Okay, 1,000. Okay, let's see here. So we did up to 10 here, and then this is how far we got. If you do 1,000, that's going to be 500. Interesting. Try 50. Make it 60, because 50 doesn't really work, right? There you go. Now if we put 500, there's going to be a big area that is not being utilized. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to sketch this graph onto this, right? We're going to do a sketch. Okay. Let's set it up. What is the label? How do we label the x-axis here? What do we put in here? The x. Oh, I didn't finish reading this thing. The y represents the height. So the y is the height in meters, and then the x represents the time. So the x is the time in seconds. So on the x-axis, this is the time. And how is time recorded? It's recorded in seconds. Okay. What about the y-axis? The y-axis is the height, and it's recorded in meters. Okay. Now from here to there, we should be able to fit 560,000. So how can we do the scaling of this graph? Counting by 10,000. Okay. We could count up 10,000, but that's a lot. 100,000. Yeah, we could probably better is 100,000. So it's 100,000, right? 100, 200,000, 300, 400, 500, 600. So 600,000. Okay. So every tick mark, that's establishing our scale is 100,000. So 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. We know our y-intercept is 560, so we'll say this is my 560, approximately there. This point there. Now it's gonna fall down, right? The next thing that we're gonna do is we need to figure out the x-intercept. To be able to graph, we look for those key points, x-intercept, y-intercept. So this is our x-intercept. So how do we figure out the x-intercept again? How do we do that again? Oh, that's a y-intercept. Yeah, we already know that. Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to put y2 equals to 0. Y2 equals to 0. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go second, trace, and then we're going to put intersect is 5. So it's going to ask us, which curves do you want to intersect? This is the first line, that's your first curve, and then this is your second line, that's the second curve. So press enter. And is this my second curve, the y2 equals 0? Yes, so press enter, and then press enter again. So it tells us they intersected at 56. 56. Okay, you did something wrong. Okay.
It's just blank.
It's blank. Okay.
Like I have the graph, but I don't have the line or the X.
Oh, what happened? Okay, so let me finish this off first. Okay, I need to go 56 over here. What do you think is a good scale? They go by 10. Yes, that's absolutely right. Go by 10. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So where's 54? Or no, not 54, 56. 56 is like somewhere right there. So we figured out the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And we graph them. Good. How do you feel about that? It's not too bad, right? You do it systematically. Makes sense. Now this comet, assuming that it just lands on the ground and it doesn't go very deep, right? Letter B. How high will the comet be after 5 seconds? So how high is a comet after 5 seconds? So what are they telling us? They're telling us a time. They're telling us a time. So time, so they're given the time. Okay, well, let's go back up here. Which one is the time? The X or the Y? The X. X is the time. So here's what we can do. Here's what we could do. We can go second function, trace, and then press 1 for value. Okay, we're gonna press 1 for value, and then we're gonna enter x equals to 5. Okay, so we're given the x value, which is 5. So you go second function, trace, if we press 1, we can only enter x value. So press 1. You can see it's blinking. It's waiting for us to enter an x value. So press 5 and press enter. Oh, battery. Okay, so now it's saying at 5 seconds, the height is 510
Meters.
510,000 meters. Is that okay? Mhm.
I just had to reset it, and then it worked.
Okay. So, do you want to give that a try? Okay. Okay. So this one here is a little bit, yeah, that one's not so bad. Okay. You're given the time, which is the x value. So we know x is 5. Now what about this one here? What's the question?
What should we do? Enter?
Oh, enter. Yeah. Enter.
So if it says quit, I should arrange my window as it. It says quit.
Yeah, yeah. You need to change your window. Do you have your calculator with you? Oh, okay. Did you change the value?
The value, which value?
Yeah.
The 5.
The window?
Um,
Okay. The window has to be changed so that you can see the
So, okay.
x-intercept and y-intercept.
okay.
Is that good? Any other ones? You okay now? You okay now?
Yeah.
In this case, how can I guess it is? What can I give the highest number in x in y?
Oh, okay. So if you press,
Can
so
you give it?
because it used to be 10, right? Used to be like that. Like, okay, this is 10. I need to make sure it gets, yeah, so it's about like this is 10, 20, yeah. So you don't need it. Because if you put 1,000 in here, it's gonna be too much, right? Yeah. So if you look at this one, this is 10, and it's already this much, then you don't need a lot, right? That's 20, 30. Yeah. So change it to, if you change it 50, it's not enough, right? So change it to 60. Okay? Yes? You're good? Okay, now let's take a look at this one in here. The question is, when will the comet reach the height of 100 meters? Okay, well, what are they giving us? They're giving us the height, which is the y value. Okay? This one is slightly different, so I need you to focus here for a second, because we've never seen something like this before. So in this case, we're given the height, which is the y value. We can enter x value in a calculator, but we cannot enter a y value. So what we could do in this particular case is this. We're going to go y2 equals to 100. So we're going to type in y2 equals to 100. So let's go ahead. Let's go y2 equals to 100. And if you press graph, did I put 100? I think I know, because it's super close to that one. Okay, so y2 equals to 100. It's somewhere close to that one, because remember this part here is going all the way to 560,000. So 100 is like super close to this one here. You can barely see it. Okay, that's why you can't really see it. Page 28? Yeah, 28. And we're gonna go second function trace, and then we're gonna intersect. Intersect. Is this your first curve? Yes. Is this your second curve? Y2 equals to 100? Yes. So we're gonna press enter, and then we're gonna press enter again. So what does that say? We're gonna go second function, trace, and then we're gonna put 5 for intersect. So they're intersecting at, so the time is 55.99. seconds. So it's saying that this comet will be 100 meters from the ground at 55.99 seconds. Because remember, it keeps going down. Any questions about this? Now let's take a look at letter D. How many seconds will the comet hit the ground? So how many seconds will after how many seconds will the comet hit the ground? Right. Well, what does that mean? When it's on the ground, what does that mean? When something is on the ground, that means the height is 0. So the height is 0. So the height is a y value. So in this case, y value is given. Didn't we figure this out already? Yeah. What's the value for that one? This one would be, this is the point there, right? It's 56 meters. 56, oh no, not meters, 56 seconds. Okay. So the y value is 0. So what do you think about that one? Is that okay? You okay? Yeah. Is it okay if we go to the next example? How can we do this part? Huh. This is a little bit different. It says here, the cost of tacos purchased depends on the number ordered. The table below shows the cost of purchasing tacos from a food truck. It says here, number of tacos, cost. 2 tacos, $7. 3, $10.50. Do you see the pattern? What's the pattern here? It's going up by 350, right? Okay. So it says here, graph the scatter plot on this one. Okay. So what goes on the x-axis?
The cost.
Number of tacos. Okay, number of tacos. What goes on the y-axis?
Cost.
The cost. And the cost is in dollars, right? Okay. Now the thing about this is we have the given points. So on the x, this is the x, the number of tacos, the y would be the cost. So 1, 2, I need to extend it. So I need to go up to 8, right? So 1 is the smallest, 8 is the biggest, so I have to go from 1 through 8. My scale is consistent, it's going up by 1. What about the y? So how can I do this part here? I need to go up to 28. What do you think I should do? You go by 4 or 2? Yeah, maybe 2. Yeah. We need to go up to 28. 5? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we could go by 5. Okay. Yeah, we could. Let's go by 5. So 5. This is easy enough to right there. So 1 taco is $3.50, so it's probably around there. 2 is 7, so it's probably around there. 3 is $10.50, so it's gonna be 3 and then $10.50, probably somewhere there. There's no 4. We go to 5, $17.50. Is everybody okay? And then the next one is 8, which is $28. Is that okay? So we got our points on there. Any questions about that one? That one should be easy, right? That one's easy. We know how to do that one. The only thing that I would want to say is that make sure your labels are there with units, and then your increments, you have equal increments there. The question B is this a linear relation? Yeah, yes it is. Yes. The points are on a straight line. Okay. The question is, I'm not quite done. Is this a linear relation? Yes, because we know that it's in a straight line. If so, sketch the linear regression equation on the grid above. Okay. and write the regression equation. So we're going to figure out the regression equation. Regression equation, we know already how to do this. We're trying to find the line of best fit. Linear regression. So how do we do linear regression? First thing we got to do, okay, let's reset everything because we don't want to screw up any stuff, right? Okay, let's reset. Okay. We don't have an equation to type in y equals. There's no equation. That's what we're trying to figure out. So what do we have? We have stat. So press stat. Okay. Where do you think we need to go next?
Calculate.
Calculate.
Almost before that?
Calculate.
Edit.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna go to edit. Yeah, because remember, we don't have the equation. This is like 2 chapters away. We're gonna put our L1 and L2 values. So L1 would be 1, enter, 2, 3, 5, 8, enter. You forgot. Okay, I'll write it down if you forgot. You're gonna go second. Oh, no, sorry, not yet. Go to stat. And then 1 edit. And then enter values on L1. Oh, that's a nice refresher, right? And L2, what do we type in L2? The Y values, right? So 350. Enter.
And when you jump 5 number 6 and 7 and 8.
What's that? Yeah, I'm just typing 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. Yeah. Because that's my data on L1 and L2. Is everybody okay? I just want to make sure. I'll wait until they figure. Are you okay? Yeah? Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, so we enter our data, and then we said we change our window. So what's our window? Our window could be X minimum would be from 0. We can go from 0 to 10, right? 0 to 10. And then what about our Y? We go from 0 to 30. Okay, so I press graph and my graph is not there. What do you think happened? What else do we need to do?
Oh, we have to turn the thing on.
We need to turn the thingy on. Yeah, that's the next step. We enter the data, we change the window, and when we turn on the stat plot. So how do we turn on the stat plot?
Second function.
Second function, y equals. Second function, y equals. Press 1. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna stop right here. These are our points. Is everybody at the same place? Yeah? Okay.
I want to see the window.
Yeah. You want to see the window? That's our window. From 0 to 10, 0 to 30. Okay, so just a quick scan around. Yeah, sorry. Are you in the same place?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. I just want to make sure that everyone's focused. And then I'm not. Okay? This is something that we've learned before. Linear regression, quadratic regression. Now, let's figure out the regression equation. So how do we do that again? Second function, yeah. Sorry, stat. I'm messing you up. Sorry, not second function. Just stat. Stat. Calc. Stat, calc. And then 4. And then they're gonna say, oh, is it X and L1, Y and L2? And before you keep going, it says here, where would you like to store your regression equation? You go vars, y vars, and then we're gonna pick 1 for function. Okay, or enter. You can press enter. And then we're gonna press enter again. And enter. So the regression equation is y equals to 3.50x plus 0. Is everyone there or no? Let's try it again. Try it again. Okay. I'll write it down. Press stat. And then go to calc. And then we're gonna go to for linear regression. 4. And they're gonna ask us, where do we store the regression equation? We're gonna store it on y1. So we go vars, y vars, and then just function, so press enter. y1, so press enter, and then press enter again, and then enter again. Okay, so it should be on your y equals. So that same equation is now on y equals. So if you press, okay, go ahead and press your y equals. Okay. Go ahead and press y equals. So your regression equation should be on that y1.
This is a window. Yeah, sure. I have the same window, everything, and this is a draft.
Oh, you know what? I think you make a mistake here. Just say. So you need first to go there and use the and use 4 and store it. So keep it there. Then you go to the variables and go to the y and go to the 1 and enter, and calculate. Make sense?
Okay. So far so good. We're taking it so slow, and I can see some people are getting impatient, getting bored. I'm like, but please bear with me. Okay. So what does that say? This is our equation. What does the x represent? What does the x represent? X represents, go back up, number of tacos, right? X represents the number of tacos. X represents number of tacos. What does the y represent?
The cost.
Y represents
Cost.
the cost. So if you go up there, y represents the cost. Okay, so that's the equation that relates the number of tacos that we buy and the cost. So over here, let's see. How much will it cost for 20 tacos? So what are they giving us? We're given
X
the x value. Yeah, x value. And what's our x value? X value is 20, right? 20. So x equals to 20. So we can go second trace, second trace. We're gonna press 1 for value. Okay, and we're gonna type in x equals to 20. I can foresee something happening in here, but let's go ahead. Second function, trace, 1 for value,
on the window.
and then it says 20. And then it says error. Okay, I'm glad we're talking about this. Do you remember why it's error?
The window is smaller than the volume.
Yeah, we gotta change the window because remember our window is only restricted up to x at 10, right? When we are trying to go up to 20, it doesn't go. So we need to change our window. So let's go quit, change your window. So let's go 20. Okay. So we're going up to x is 20. So second function, trace again. Press 1 for value. Now enter the 20. It's gonna cost $70. So the cost is $70. Is there a way for us to figure that out without a calculator? Is there a way for us to figure that out without the calculator? How? Algebra method. And how can you explain how do you do algebra method? What can we do? Yeah, we can do an algebra method. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So you know, like you're putting your brains together there, like yeah, algebra method. You can go, okay, I know how many tacos there are. We know the regression equation. I know my x. So I can go 350 times 20, right? Plus 0. So it would give us 70. Okay? Okay, next one. How many tacos could we buy with $100? How many tacos can we buy with $100? Okay, what information is given here? We're given the y value. Yeah. Is everybody okay? Nicole, are you okay? Yeah. Okay. So we're given the y value. Unfortunately, we don't have, our calculator is restricted in this. We can't enter a y value and figure out x, right? So how can we do that again? We're gonna go y2 equals to $100. Okay, y2 is 100 because this is a y value, right? So y is 200. And then we're gonna go second function, trace. And I think it's 5 for intersect. And then we're gonna intersect those two lines. So let's figure that out. So press Y2, or Y equals, Y2 is 100. Let's press graph. Okay. Do you see your graph? Nothing changes, okay. Why is it not there? I mean, when you look at this one here, our Y max is only up to 30.
Okay.
Yeah, our Y max is only up to 30. We need to go up to 100. So let's go do 100. Let's go 110. So there's a little bit of space. Okay. Do you see their intersection? Now, if we do an intersection here, our calculator can't do that because in this particular screen, they're not intersecting. Okay, so what can we do so that we can see their point of intersection? They're going to intersect right there. I changed a window. Okay, so here we go. So right now it says. So we need to extend the window so that you can see the point of intersection. So what can we change?
X min. X, no, Y min.
Y min?
Yeah.
That's gonna give us the Y values down here. Their intersection is somewhere here.
Okay, so now
We're gonna do, mine still says,
Okay, this is what
X
the
max.
this is what it looks like. We want them to intersect. So
X max.
we're gonna change to X max. Okay, let's see. What should we change to X max to? 50?
40 or 40.
Okay, let's go 50. There's gonna be, let's see. Oh, now we see the point of intersection. Now we're ready to do the intersection. So second function,
Intersect.
trace. I'm gonna ask you first curve, second curve. Yes, press enter, press enter. Okay, so now this is what I got. I could get 28.57 tacos.
What did you like for X? Is it 25 or 5?
Oh, 50. I put 50. Yeah. Okay, so let's intersect it again. Oh, I lost it. 28 point. Can you buy that many tacos? 28.7 or 57? No. If we buy 29, we're gonna be over 100. So we, in this particular case, we have to round down to 28 tacos, right? So we could buy 28 tacos. Okay. And then we have to, this has to be rounded down. Rounded down. Okay. How do you feel about that? Okay. Okay. The answer says 28.57, but we can't buy 28.57 tacos. So we need to round it off, but we can't round it up to 29 because that's gonna cost us more than $100. So the best way to do that is to round down by one less taco, so 28. We're within the budget, So down to 20 tacos. Okay? So leave that with you. That's finished for now. And then we'll continue tomorrow. Okay?
I understand.